In 1908, mass production was brought into this world by Henry Ford. This technological advancement has allowed the world to manufacture products in a more effective way. World War I begins in 1914 and ends in 1918. The war was fought mainly in Europe between Allies and Triple Entente. World War II begins from 1939 and ends in 1945. The war was fought globally between the Allies and Axis forces. Two world wars had left the world in despair by bringing destruction to the city and causing the loss of so many precious lives. After the war, the world is trying to recover from the misery caused by the war and in search of new direction for shaping a new world. This marks the beginning of modernism. Modernism, as its name implies, is a style of art, architecture, or literature that is different from the past.
John Prouvre was a furniture designer. Later on, he became a self-taught architect. He developed a speedily assembled emergency housing for refugees and the homeless. In 1949, John Prouvre was awarded a contract by the French government. He is required to create 3 prototypes that is suitable for tropical climate for the French colony in Western Africa. Reason being was because there was a serious housing shortage at Western Africa. Thus, the Maison Tropicale was born.
John Prouvre was inspired by the housing in West Africa, which is quite similar to the Malaysia Kampung house. The house was designed based on 3 main criteria, which were functionality, rationality, and standardization. This concept of the Maison Tropicale is to fulfill the requirements of the French government. One of the most prominent features of the Maison Tropicale is its raised platform. This is to protect the owner from the danger of jungle at night. Besides that, the raised platform will improve the ventilation of the house. Next, shutters are placed around the house to give shading to the interior from the sunlight and to prevent raining water from spilling into the house during rainy season. Follow on, John Prouvre also invented the revolutionary gantry frame. The Maison Tropicale was designed with a lot of porthole wall panels. The purpose of it was to ensure that the interior gains sufficient sunlight. The layout of the house can be varied based on the owner preferences. This means the owner can design his own space based on his own desire. Partition can be done easily and in a short time. The main material for the house was aluminium. The reason was because there were abundant sources of aluminium found in West Africa. The Maison Tropicale is light enough to be transported by plane due to the light material weight. Thus, it can be assembled with a small team of 4 persons. Unfortunately, this project was considered a failure because the raw materials required to manufacture aluminium was extracted from West Africa and then sent to France. Thus, the French government is trying to implement that they are technically superior than their counterparts. Another reason was after the World War II, the newly established United Nations was committed to decolonization. This had raised the nationalism of West Africans. This caused the West Africans to oppose the house designed by John Prouvre. Furthermore, the house was designed totally based on Western modern architecture while the local beliefs was ignored. 3 prototypes were planned. 2 of them were assembled in Brazzaville, Congo, while the other one was assembled in Niamey, Niger. There are differences between the 2 houses. The similarities between the Niamey house and Brazzaville house were that they were designed with lowered Venetian blinds and a ventile, dual-layered ceiling. Due to the climate condition in Jean, Mali, this traditional African house was built in a way to accumulate and store the heat of the day and for evening comfort. It's an earthen, round house and had its wall insulated. The circular form, in contrast to the rectangular, helps to concentrate thermal radiation in a central, enclosed interior space. Therefore, when comparing to the Maison Tropicale, it is much more different in its form. Regardless of that, it was still a masterpiece in Western countries as it is one of the first houses to be built in factory and assembled on site. This had influenced the architecture world greatly, especially in the high-tech architecture. Examples of architects who use high technology in their architectural works are Norman Foster, Michael Hopkins, Richard Rogers, and Renzo Piano. So, we can say that it was the pioneer to the modern prefabricated house. Nevertheless, it was also recognized by the Western world because of its modern design, innovation, industrial character, and simplicity.